Welcome back to Retiring Today. It's time to answer a question that we received recently during our online Journey to Retirement workshop in a segment that we call Your Journey, Your Questions. Here's the question. What do I do about Medicare if I work past age 65? I'm here with Loren Merkle and AnnaMarie Morrow. She's the director of Medicare here at Merkle Retirement Planning, so I know that you know the answer.
There's a lot of misconceptions about there because there's so much mail that you are getting telling you if you don't enroll at age 65, you are going to have penalties.
No one wants a penalty.
Nobody wants a penalty. And it's not only the mail that causes the confusion, but also your peers, whether it's your siblings or maybe your parents are saying what they did or coworkers. There's a lot of information coming from a lot of different places.
That's right. And so, but we're here to break through that, right?
Clear the confusion. All right.
And people are all the time working past age 65. And so if you are continuing to work or your spouse is continuing to work beyond the age of 65 or you're aging into 65 and your spouse is younger than you and still working, you do not have to elect Medicare when you turn age 65. The only thing to consider is if there are less than 20 employees at the place of business, then you may need to elect Medicare. It's important to know if the employer plan is considered Medicare qualified, meaning matching what Medicare covers. And then you can continue to work. You can continue to be carried onto that plan until you're ready for separation of service.
Are you talking about Part A and Part B? You don't need to elect either?
You don't have to elect both at the same time. You can choose to elect Part A when you turn age 65 because there's no premium attached to it, but that doesn't mean you have to elect Part B. Now, there is one caveat that will guide you on whether to know if it's a good idea or not to elect A at age 65, and that is health savings account. HSAs are growing in popularity because of the great tax benefits associated with it, but once you elect just Part A, your contributions must stop.
Let's talk about HSAs because if they're becoming more popular, I think people need to know about them and about the benefits.
They were started in 2003, but really over the last decade, a lot of people have started to use them for a couple different reasons. One is healthcare premiums, traditional healthcare plans. The premiums have become more expensive and less affordable. So the high deductible healthcare plans that are associated with HSAs, the premiums for those plans are less than most traditional healthcare plans. So that can be appealing. But also by taking advantage of a qualified high deductible healthcare plan, you can take advantage of the triple tax benefits of the HSA, which means you put contributions into the HSA. You do not pay taxes on those contributions. Those contributions grow tax-free, and then when you take that income out and use it for qualified healthcare expenses, that comes to you tax-free as well. So the three tax benefits, which we don't see in hardly any other retirement savings, which is why one effective strategy that you may consider if you're taking advantage of the HSA is while you're working, you have your great income and you have medical expenses, you may choose not to use the HSA for those medical expenses, cash flow it through your earnings, because when you retire and those earnings go away, you can use that HSA for those qualifying medical expenses when you don't have the high earnings that you have while you're working. But at age 65, if you file for Medicare A, you're not eligible to contribute to the HSA, and that's one thing you really have to be careful of as you're making this Medicare decision.
And you recently had a discussion with someone who was 65 and had a child at home that was covered under their health care, and they had some questions about Medicare and what to do.
Yeah, Medicare is just an individual plan. So Medicare would not kick in and help cover any dependents that you may have in the household. So that's something to consider. Maybe in that situation, it would be wise to remain on the employer plan so your child or dependent can have that coverage moving forward. But it is important to note, once you're over the age of 65 and you do go to elect A or B, A and B, there is the election period. Right? So in order to elect, you do need one extra form completed. Not a lot of people are aware of this. You need to prove that you've had qualified coverage since you turned age 65. This is what bypasses that penalty. And this form is completed by the employer that was carrying your health coverage. And you can have them sign this within 3 months of when you plan to separate service or the employer plan.
And this is only if you're working. If you're retired, you don't have to worry about proving that?
It's past age 65. If you're working past age 65, then you do need this form to prove you've had qualified coverage.